Hello, everyone. My name's Rob. Hello, everyone. My name is Robbie, and today we are going to continue with the topic of conditionals. And since we covered the first and second conditionals last time, today we are going to cover the second, the third, and we are going to dip our toes in the mixed conditional realm as well. So, without further ado, let's get started. I guess this isn't okay. Pardon me for the holds up. Anyway, let's so let's begin with the second conditional. So its structure is as follows. So we start off with an if, and after the if we use the past simple, which is the condition clause and then we have the result, which is would, and the infinitive together, infinitive added to it, and and the second conditional is used to discuss present or future situations that are impossible or unlikely, such as if you listen to me, you wouldn't be in the situation. That means that there was a situation where the speaker had advised the listener to do or not do something, not clear what exactly, but they did the opposite thing of what the speaker wanted, so they have found themselves in that particular situation. Moving forward to the next example, if I told you the truth, you wouldn't believe me. Again, there is something that the speaker is not telling the listener, and in order to say in order to save the listener's mental state, or for whatever other reason they choose not to, because the listener would think that the truth would be pretty ridiculous, to put it harshly, and that's why the "you wouldn't believe me" comes in because the truth is apparently so ridiculous it's hardly believable. And the third example, I would be surprised if you actually bought this. So the speaker addresses the listener. They are planning on making a purchase, and they see something that is unlikely to be bought by either of them, which means that it's ridiculously expensive, not to their taste, or whatever other reason that would be. And again, this is a hypothetical unlikely situation, unlikely present or future situation. And again, with every rule comes also another rule that falls under it. When if is followed by be, the grammatically correct approach is were. So basically, when we write down sentences, we write down sentences or speak or engage in formal speech. We need to remember that our approach is not "if I was a rich man," as it's common in colloquial or daily speech, colloquial speech or daily speech or whatever other speech, but not formal speech. But we need to see if we are in a formal setting, or if we write things down that is going to be read by a stranger without a set standard of familiarity to that to that person, we use if I were rich, if he were rich, if she were rich, or whatever other adjective we want to use, we use the were. In speech, in regular non-formal speech, we can use was, as it's common among native speakers as well. Moving forwards, so I am not going to give you any exercises for now, so please feel free to take a screenshot and head and do it at your own spare time. And for those who might have a blurry screen, I'll read out the sentence for you. I'll read out the exercise for you. Write 5 sentences using the second conditional. Heard me? Moving forward. So now we have a third conditional. Now we have the third conditional. So its structure is as follows. So we have an if, and the if is followed by the past perfect, which is the condition. And we have the consequence, basically would have with a past participle, and we use that to imagine a different outcome of a past situation. So basically, if I had taken, let's follow the examples. If I had taken the job offer, I would have made $1 million by now, which means that we did not take this job, which was a very lucrative job offer. It was a very lucrative job offer, but for whatever reason, we didn't take it. So therefore, we are stuck here lamenting the fact that we are what we are now, and not some wealthy man just drinking pina coladas somewhere in Malibu or whatever. And if I had a full charge, we would have reached help sooner. So basically what happened is that the speaker's battery went flat, and they could not reach help as soon as they wished they could. So it took them a longer time to actually find help, and as we can see, the speaker is not too happy with that fact at all. Moreover, they're not happy with the fact at all. And the third example is, you would have a job right now if you had not declined Michael's offer. So again, we have a job offer, but in this situation, the listener does not have a job, but they have been offered a job by someone named Michael, which they declined for whatever reason, and now they're just stuck without a job. And if they had taken it, that might have also been a chance for them to get out of unemployment. That means something. And the fourth example, which is a much simpler example, if Tim had gone swimming that day, he would have fallen ill. So basically, there was something in the pool. And Tim wanted to go swimming, but he didn't because there was something in the pool. And because of that something in the pool, he would have fallen ill. That does not necessarily have to be a pool. It's just a hypothetical situation as to why would Tim have fallen ill if he had gone swimming. But he did not. He's perfectly healthy. Let's have a round of applause for Tim and move on. Again, same exercise, but we use the third conditional here. Take a screenshot and do it whenever you're free. It would be perfect if you did it in the chat or right after the class. And now we approach the mixed conditionals. So today we're going to be touching upon the third, second, and the second and third mixed conditionals. Moving forward, let's move forward. So we have, first of all, we have the third, second. So we have an if clause with a past perfect, and then the other clause is the would with an infinitive. So basically, we have a cause and effect. We have that cause and effects relationship going on here. So we use that to indicate a hypothetical change in the past situation which results in the present. So just to start with some examples. If I hadn't gone to school that day, I wouldn't be down with the flu now, as in now. Like so we went to school, right? And now we have the flu because we went to school. Now we are thinking, okay, I must have caught it at school. So the smartest thing to do was not to go to school, because then I would not have the flu right now, which is the train of thought right here. Another example is if I had gone on the trip with my friends, I wouldn't be able to pay my bills this month. So we had an expensive trip scheduled, we canceled out on it, and now we have some money. And now we have some money to pay the bills. But if we had gone, but as the sentence says, we would have been stuck with an empty wallet if we had actually gone with our friends, which means that if there would be this hypothetical change in the past situation. Basically, if I said yes to the friends and if I said no to the school, I wouldn't have fallen sick, and I would not have, but I wouldn't also have had any money. You would know the answer if you had listened to me. Of course, everyone has heard. If everyone has heard this or a variation of the sentence at least once in our lives, whether it be school, in a relationship, at work, at home, during childhood at home, or whenever. And yes, the hypothetical situation is the listener actually listening to the speaker, and the speaker asks them something, and yes, the sentence is a fine example of this mixed conditional. And last but not least, if Tim had been laid off, he wouldn't have this house, because Tim if because look because we have also this hypothetical situation that Tim most likely works at a company which had a case of severe layoffs. Tim actually survived those layoffs. He still kept his job, and he also saved enough to buy a house with the money he had made. But if he hadn't survived the layoffs, he wouldn't have had this nice house, and he would probably be stuck in his old one. That's about it. And now we have the second/third mixed conditional, where we have the structure of the if clause being constructed with a past simple, and it's followed by an effect clause, by the effect clause with a would have and a past participle. It's used to denote that a difference in the present situation would also mean a difference in the past. Like, I wouldn't be here if it if it weren't for you. That sort of thing. And some examples include but are not limited to, if John had some money left, he would have had a healthy back. So basically, John has back problems. He doesn't have any money, but if he did, he would be able to cure his back problem. He would be able to help his back, maybe get some surgery or whatever. But alas, as for now, he can't afford any, so he's stuck with an aching back. If you came to work early, another example is if you came to work earlier, you wouldn't have missed so many meetings. So we have a very tardy worker here who has a problem of missing meetings, right? Right, and the worker is getting chastised in this example. Some meetings were mandatory, but they still missed those meetings, and again, if you came to work earlier, you wouldn't have missed so many meetings because the worker missed those meetings because the worker was coming to work too late. And a simpler example, moving for the end of the day, if the eggs weren't bad, I wouldn't have gotten sick. So this means the speaker ate some eggs. They didn't know they were bad eggs. For whatever reason, usually you can tell. But still, that's not the point. The speaker ate bad eggs, but if those were good eggs, they wouldn't have gotten sick. So basically, replace the bad with the good and see how the situation changes. So meaning that if those bad eggs were good, they wouldn't have been sick. As opposed to the situation with the bad. The situation we have now, where the person has had bad eggs for dinner and they have fallen sick. That's about it for me. Thank you.